To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs.
From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items.
Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes Build Events and be a part of something extraordinary.
What is up, everyone? I'm Joshua Banks, driver of the number 35 Matco Tool Supra, and also co-owner of M&J Distributors, for the sponsor of Saturday Night Racing. So I just want to thank every single one of you for tuning into tonight's race. I hope you will put on a good show for you guys. I hope that you will enjoy it. So if you do, make sure you drop a thumbs up to B-Speed and subscribe to them, because they, as y'all know, if you haven't already, they put on some great broadcasts. So I'll make this short and sweet. The main reason for sponsoring Saturday Night Racing League is because I've been with these guys for a long time. I've raced with a lot of them. I've been through some rough times, some good times, and arguments and everything like that. But still, grand scheme of things, been through a lot of these guys, and I really do like where this league's going. I want to support it. They've given a lot to the league already, and I think, you know, I'm capable to support back. So that's what we're doing, and we want to keep this league free, you know, for people to join, to have a good time, come in and race and just have fun, you know, and that's what we're all about. So that's the main reason, and that's all I really have to say about it. So I hope you do enjoy the race, enjoy the season coming up. We are hopefully going to put on a great season for you guys. Also, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Banksy the iRacer. Link will be in the description. Check out, and you can see my point of view, see what's happening on my end. If you want to watch it, it's completely fine. If not, no big deal. So come on over, hang out after the broadcast of this race, and hopefully we'll see you over there. If not, enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on track.
Lap traffic out of the way. It's between these two. They're even for the white flag lap.
This race still very undecided.
They had the lift. Big run for McWhorter. This is going to be his chance.
They're running out of time, and they know it. Horsepower at their feet.
That was a huge run for Bradley. He got back the advantage, but here comes a big dive. McWhorter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, they put him in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash. Here comes Ray Massey. Ray Massey's going to win it.
Well, we're picking up right where we left off, and this week it's the Clash, here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. The M&J Distributors Clash at Atlanta, presented by Saturday Night Racing League. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host. All season long, I will have Connor Horn up here in the booth with me. bspeedsim.com if you'd like to check us out. But Connor, I tell you, we had phenomenal racing last season. We put it all together here. We're actually adding another league to the grouping here with the Challenger Series, and you can kind of tell here tonight because we have over 50 participants trying to battle for a position.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild race. You got drivers not making the field. We're taking 43 drivers. We don't know who's out yet. We'll know that later, a little while later, in a few minutes or so. But yeah, it's going to be a big field tonight. It's going to be a lot of action tonight. I don't believe this league has any history with the super speedway that Atlanta's built here in a few years ago. So this should be pretty interesting. And these Xfinity Series cars is probably the most sketchy car to run at this racetrack with the lack of downforce you got. So this should be interesting.
Yes, and they're going to narrow the field down to 43 cars. Of course, Atlanta Motor Speedway back in the day, it was more of a cookie-cutter intermediate oval, but since the repave and the changing to kind of the banking, a little bit of subtlety on the racetrack, but it's not subtle what it did to the racing here. It's almost like a Talladega/Daytona race where you're wide open, flat foot for the first 25, 30 laps, and the draft's so important here.
Yeah, draft is going to be very important. You need to stay in it, but you're still going to have handling issues that you would have at some other mile and a half and some other bigger tracks. You're not going to be able to have the pedal planted for the entirety of this race. So you're going to have to be very, very careful with what moves you make. If you're in the middle of the pack and you're not handling well, you might be in trouble. You might self-spin. You might wash up into someone else. It is incredibly hard to drive here in a tight pack, but that's exactly what the racing has with the package that these Xfinity Series cars have on them. So opened in 1960, but it's got new life since 2022.
Schedule coming up on your screen. Of course, this is just the schedule for the Cup Series. I failed to do my job and the diligence for the Challenger Series, but they will go live next Saturday at Daytona. So at 8 p.m. next Saturday, make sure you tune into V-Speed, and we'll tee off the first season there. But for the Cup Series, the third time that we've seen them here on V-Speed, and I'm glad they had us back. And I mean, Connor, it's a blessing to be back here, having the same people, familiar names, some of these guys carrying over, but we've got a few new ones out here on the racetrack tonight.
Yeah, it'll take us a while to get used to all the new names, not only this week because we have two series together, but also for the main series, it'll be a little bit difficult, but we'll get there eventually. We usually do, and that's the same thing goes for the pronunciations as well, as we got Daytona, and then an immediate off week, Dover, Indianapolis, Watkins Glen, another off week there, Kansas, Nashville, all these incredible tracks. The finish, Ray Massey won Chicagoland, had to get that back on the schedule. Another stop at Atlanta, but the old mile and a half cookie cutter version in November, and then the chase begins after that. That's the regular season finale. Darlington, Bristol, Talladega, the off week after Dega, just like last season almost, I believe. Then New Hampshire and Las Vegas. I can only imagine the craziness we saw at Vegas last season contributed to that being the season finale in December. So this is going to be a wild, wild season.
Well, I'm going to butcher a name right out of the gate because that's what I do for a living. But we're going to get down to your grid now. Let's talk about that pole sitter. Oh, it's going to be Clark Ganeckin. I think I'm going to go with Ganeckin on this one.
That's what we went with last season.
All right, so there's Casey Lakatos on the outside on that front row, a 32.410 for 1,000ths of a second, separating that pole position. Starting in row number 2, it's Joshua Banks. Banksy the iRacer is going to start in the third position, and would like to thank him for coming on as the main sponsor for the Cup Series with the Mac Code Tools and M&J Distributing. eSpeed's very own Alec Martinez in the extra 18 will start in fourth. Fifth spot, Aaron Smith in the number 70 with Jeff Wright in sixth position. It's a season 1 champion, Jeff Wright. Adam Cabot's going to start in seventh with Chad Klinger in eighth position. And rounding out your top 10, we have Ben Baffert and Noah Mahalski in the 03.
And then just outside the top 10, Reggie Ortega, who I believe won Daytona, the season opener last season. He starts 11th. Nathan Farada in 12th. We will try to get that one right. I can't imagine I did get it right. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, 13th. Storm Patterson, the Target 54, starts in 14th. 15th position is going to go to the 77 Mark Whitley, who's always a force when he runs races. Christopher Hodges, a new name to me, starts 16th. Pretty similar laps here throughout this field as well. 17th, Julio Villalobos Jr. in the number 45 Toyota Supra. Bryce Shoemaker will start in the 18th position alongside him, and then rounding out pretty much the top half of the field, Alex Bell in his Napa Auto Parts Supra in 19th. Jeremy Miller, a newcomer to this series, will start 20th.
Moving on to 21st position, Seth Hatchell will start in 21st. Joseph McWhorter, the reigning champion in Season 2, he'll start in 22nd. 23rd goes to Caleb Weekly in the number 13, Michael Sturgill in 24th. 25th, Brandon Wallace, Jonathan Smith, 26th, and wow, what a field here. Brian Hennings. So you had Christopher Hodges, there's Brian Hennings. We're going to peel off here. We're getting ready to go already.
At one pace a lap, it's going to be a wild race with a full field of 40-plus cars. The green flag is out after the Geico restart zone. We're green. The season's underway.
And I apologize to anybody that we didn't get the name in for there, but here we go. Green flag is out. We're live and racing. Is able to hold on, but that outside line starting to form up fast. Joshua Banks peeks to the outside. Casey Lacatas on his bumper.
Two teammates working together up at the top, or at least they work like teammates, but I don't think they're actually teammates. Banks immediately trying to get clean air, track position to the front of the field. Gnekin not going to get much help from Aaron Smith on the bottom. Very disconnected. Banks got a bump out of the corner. It's near impossible to bump into corners at this track, so you got to be careful doing it, but they got away with it on fresher tires. These tires will wear out pretty quickly, 15, 20 laps, even maybe earlier than that, you'll start seeing effects.
So we've got 2 driver cameras out here on the racetrack here tonight, and there was one of them as we rode on board with Joshua Banks. Lacatas almost able to clear that inside line. Doesn't quite have it. The outside probably going to work a little bit better here on these fresh tires, but as this run progresses, it's going to get greasy, and the likelihood of you brushing the outside wall, well, it increases with every lap that goes by.
I still think I'd rather want to be on the higher lines because you just have more control of your car. The middle, with the progressive banking, you have more maneuverability up there. When you're on the bottom, you kind of have less banking to work with. It's much harder to pin it down there, especially as the tires wear out, and especially when you have someone directly on your rear bumper. So I'd much rather be in that middle line where the 50 is, but Banks is going to lead on the bottom, or at least try to control both lanes for the time being. He went to the bottom in the corners, back up to the high side down the straightaway. Now he's back bottom, back top.
Playing both lines.
That's lap 4, but he's trying to work them.
He's doing a well job there. He gets by with another lap led. Pole sitter down one spot for Joshua Banks. And then you go deeper in this field. Joseph McWhorter, the reigning champion, well, he's gained 11 spots already, and he's not shy to take it 3 wide. He has his teammate right behind him.
The 3 wide is going to be tough to do. There's not much room for it since they shrunk this track. It widens out a big amount in the front stretch through these dog legs, but it closes it up on the interior turn 1, and you got to be ready for it and give as much room as you can. McWhorter trying to get to the outside of the 48, but now he's going to push the 48 through 2 drivers in the title fight last season, trying to work together to get to the front early on.
Yeah, Jeff Wright saw that momentum. He said, I'm going to ride this train to the front. He's going to go to the outside of Alec Martinez. There he is in the middle there of that grouping, 3rd row in. Down on the bottom is the 70 of Aaron Smith. And if you remember Aaron Smith, winner of the V-Speed Invitational Championship, the 2 weekends we put on there just about 3 weeks ago. And wow, the front row, 3 wide battle for the lead. Licata steps out on Banks, and now he's going to try for the point.
I'm used to seeing 2x2 here, not 3x3. This is incredible for this early on, and we still got a ways to go, but everyone's trying to get to the front in a short amount of time because this is when your tires are going to work the best. You don't really want to try to get to the front of 4 tires. It won't work. You might cause a crash, so everyone's trying to use them up as much as they can right now, especially like right now before the sun pops out. It's going to make handling that much more difficult.
Here's Alec Martinez. He's going to peek to the middle there.
48's in the
up.
Jeff Wright crash.
Yes, he did, and that's a big wreck behind everyone.
They somehow all kept it straight. How in the world? Everyone kept it straight.
What?
How in the world?
Well, this is going to spread this field out tremendously. And let's go back on the instant replay. There's the 83 in the wall. There's the yellow. This spread the field out considerably. This is the 3 wide here that causes some of that, and that was actually deeper back in the field. Looked like Seth Hatch and a few others course, it got split off, but there's right into the wall. 73 picks up some heavy damage. I'm not quite sure who that was. I think it was Alex Bell.
There's a lot of drivers who got damage. Yeah, through all that, Alec Martinez got the lead, but there's a lot of drivers who got damage. Yellow's going to fall a little after this. Like the right front of the 73 was broken, maybe. So he's going to reset. He's right at the pit road. He'll have to repair as much as he can. There are no fast repairs even for this race tonight, so if you get damage, you're going to have to repair it. But we've seen all the time with the new damage model, you can get it fully repaired, but you might need to wait for some lucky dogs here. As you can see, he just gets sandwiched in between the 48 and 77. Whitley had nowhere to go, and they all stacked up behind, but everyone kept it straight somehow. You just had rear bumpers flailing about.
Yeah, how nobody really got involved in that, I'm not sure exactly where the caution, maybe it was an admin caution that was thrown.
It was.
Still,
It was an admin caution.
The situation there, yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
A lot of the drivers are going to come down. Probably most people to repair damage, but some drivers are going to put some more fuel on it.
Alec Martinez leads the train down pit road. Yeah, we had 43 cars start this race, a couple of them with damage. The 73 kind of gets the worst end of that deal. It looks like Whitley, maybe Jeff Wright gets a little bit of top off of fuel for a lot of these cars. And it looks like the 18 is going to win that battle off of pit road with the 27 of Ganeckin just behind him. 76 machine of, looks like Christian Agnell. Is that Angel? Or I think that's Angel.
Christian Angel, 76. Another new name to me. Comes off pit road. Now you can really see who has damage to repair. The guy's still on pit road, like the 48 of Jeff Wright. Hronis Belke, they're out. Mark McFadden looks like he has some damage. Whitley, Hodges, Villalobos, looks like Alex Bell. McWhorter's the first one to go laps down. It looks like Jonathan Smith is missing a rear bumper as well. So lots of drivers are going to have a lot of repairs to do. A lot of drivers with just specific, really big rear end damage, which kills your top end speed and also makes it very unfun to drive in the corners as well. So a lot of drivers are going to have some repairs to do over the yellow flag laps that we get here. But it's a pretty long race at 120 laps, so they all have time.
Yes, they do. So here we set. There's a lot of new names out on this racetrack. Brian Henning's one of those new names. Coming back out on the racing surface now. He's in the 6th position. Ben Laughter is in 7th spot, so that's another new name in the 64. And Logan Threlkeld. Well, if you're not familiar with that name, he ran there in the last race of the season, last season, and ran a little bit there on BTDY. And if you're familiar with V-Speed, he's been up here in the booth a few times, so good to see him up in the top 10.
And he's up there. Going to have some different drivers at the front now after the yellow and how many drivers actually took fuel or tires. Joe McWhorter is going to be our first retirement of the race, actually, so that's not how you want to get your season started after when being the reigning series champion. So he's out. Looks like everyone else stayed lead lap besides him. He had a lot of damage from the contact he had. Chad Klinger looks like he's going to restart as the race leader.
Yes, he will, and he'll elect to take the outside line here on this restart. We'll have Reggie Ortega just behind him. Michael Sturgill in the number 3, going to restart on that inside on the front row. Lap number 13 coming up here for this restart. It'll be the second time today that the iRacing pace car has had to move down pit road. And with the way this racetrack and these guys taking it 3 wide here very early, I don't think it'll be the last time, but let's wait and see. Some older tires up here in the top 10 versus some top-offs, some damage repairs, quite a few drivers deep in this field that we expect to see back towards the front here soon. Out of turn 4, Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. We're back underway. Already a decent jump, but it doesn't mean much here. It's similar to Daytona, where if you get that leap out in front of the field, it can cause this right here, where you can see Klinger has to fall all the way back to Reggie Ortega to even get the momentum going, and that allows Sturgill to take the lead.
Thought he would come down in front of a 3, chose not to, but like we said, you kind of want to be in that middle line, but you know, a little early on, it doesn't really matter. It looked like Miller the 30 might have hit the wall there down the back straightaway, but everyone else clean through the tri-oval. Well, not really the tri-oval, through the dog-legged oval we have here. Sturgill to the top, got really sideways off the bumper of Chad Klinger, but he kept it straight. Lets the 50 get back to the front.
The live feed there from the 3 machine on the outside. He's going back to the point. He's going to take the lead back over on the middle groove.
09 shoving the 3 into the corner, but not staying close to the bumper, which is pretty important even on new tires. The 50 is going to get a push from Matthew Radford in the 97 Ally machine that you see, and it's really all that the help that's on the bottom. Only 2 cars trying to push down there. It's a long ways back to Christian Angel in that 76 as things are stacked up outside the top 10. Miller's trying to go 3 wide to the middle. 17's looking 4 wide out of turn 2, and it almost actually got to the right rear, but not quite.
That's Adam Cabot in the number 17, and he's trying to work that eye line. Looks like Logan Threlkel kind of shut the door on the momentum, now peaks up his bumper and kind of closes that, but there's going to be a lot of these moments where guys aren't intentionally shutting the door, just so much dirty air that you slide up the racetrack.
Yeah, that's the tough part, because you still kind of have a 1.5 mile aero, but you have a super speedway engine, which makes it to where you're not going as fast as you could be, but you still have the aero tight effects of a normal 1.5 mile package. So when you're sending it into turn number 1, you have someone right in front of you. You might end up loosening them up, but if you don't get close enough to their rear bumper to loosen them up, you're going to wash up the track, might hit the wall in the middle of the corner or out of the corner. So you really got to be careful of how you run. As Ben Bafford looks to the right rear of Reggie Ortega.
That's the 14 of Ben Bafford. He peeked to the outside. Front row, Casey Lakatos finds his way up to the front, has the 97 of Matthew Radford, and sideways there for somebody.
14 and 21 had contact as Bafford and Trejo coming together, door banging, as the 3's going to get that run out of the corner. You're seeing not a lot of drivers able to really stay in one line. Here goes Martinez 3 wide to the top on the 14, but you see a lot of drivers not staying in line that easily, a lot of mixing up all the way throughout the field.
Yes, there is, but you got to keep in mind what happened last time it went 3 wide. Guys pushed up to the outside wall, the accordion effect. There's Cabot almost into the wall again.
And now Chad Klinger and Matthew Radford door banged into turn number 3, so very aggressive start to this race already, even besides the yellow, and we're still going 3 wide. So Ortega stuck in the middle. It looked like Martinez and Bafford were splitting them, but then the 09 and the 3 in the middle, kind of mixing up both lanes here, just trying to hang on to the lead, but we're going to go 3 wide again.
3 wide for the front spot. 50 of Lakatos on the bottom. Sturgill in the 3 in the middle. On the outside, Alec Martinez in the 18 has help from Ben Bafford in the 14 machine. He's going to lead this time by. Will he clear? He will not.
Just not quite the bottom line. Just strong enough to get down through there, but Sturgill has no help in the bottom or middle. He's going to have to pick which lane he wants to get a push from. Martinez is almost clear of Chad Klinger, but didn't come down. Sturgill's going to commit to that bottom line, which leaves Chad Klinger without any help. 21 of Trejo hit the apron, car in the wall. It's a target machine, but they keep it straight. Trying to remember who that was. Storm Patterson, the 54, kept it straight. They're still 3 wide at the front.
Storm Patterson loses some positions, falls back to 27th, 28th spot. This field thundering by at 180 miles per hour before they hit turn 3.
Oh, crash, big crash.
Asa Lakatos in the outside wall. Sturgill's around. The 12
66.
of Threlkel.
The 10, 43's involved. 30 of Miller might be in there somewhere. Goodness. 075, that was a lot.
This all starts at the front, and that's what's unfortunate about it is they're all ahead of this pack of cars.
I couldn't tell if it was a bad bump from Bafford or maybe he got loose, but it took out a lot of cars because what goes up must come down. They all come down the track. It was really the 50 who took the biggest hits. As the 3, Michael Sturgill got some of the worst of it. Just trying to see what happened to the 14 down the back straightaway. See him over there, and he just got kind of sideways, and 09 came up as well. It was really, really odd.
Who was that behind Baffert there that I want to see?
That was this. It was a 76, but it didn't look like he was close enough to bump the 14. This will be a good view of what happened, though. This ends up taking out a lot of cars. He Baffert up the track. 76. Nah, he just kind of lost it in the straight line. The 09 also came up, so like they both went for the same line at the same time, and it caused a huge mess. Oh yeah, the 09 got hit a ton. The 50 got hit a ton.
On board with Logan Threlkel.
You can tell he's trying to hang back because he sees what's up ahead, and it's not looking good.
No.
But there's nowhere he can go here, really. I mean, it looks like you have a lot of room to avoid, but you really don't. There's cars everywhere. It just missed Lakatis. Just ran out of room. Then he slammed the 09.
Looks like that's the 31 machine back there in the back of this. He is Keith Shoemaker. We'll go on board with him. He was deep in this right here. Yeah, he just, yeah, Lakatis came back up the track in front of him.
Yeah, he was the one who pile drove the 50 that I saw. Oh, they weren't done. I don't think that was the 50 again. No, but that's what happens when you're trying to get back going. He had drivers to his outside as well, so it's tough to see where he could really go. He's trying to get back. Look at their front bumpers right in front of him too, and then they meet. So yeah, that took out a lot of drivers. I haven't seen any actually leave the session as a result of that yet, but Shoemaker
is out officially.
Yeah, he was out in the first crash. No one else is left yet, but I think that'll change. Threlkel, Shoemaker, Collier, Klinger, Kyle Peacock, all at least one lap down, and you have many more with a lot of damage to repair. But this will change up the running order at the front even more because he had more drivers pit. Matthew Radford and Joshua Banks. So Banks got back to the front row, but Matthew Radford will lead this race.
Then the 97 of Radford. 35 of Banks, 21 of Trejo. Mahalski up into the top 5. He's gained quite a few positions. 26 for Trejo, 30 for Radford, 16 for Seth Hatchell in the top 5 here on this restart. So we're taking it all in here, Connor. What's your takeaway so far, 24 laps into this race?
Well, a lot of nerves maybe. Drivers getting back into the swing of things with this series, because some drivers, this is the main series they tried for, but a lot of nerves are causing a lot of crashes. We just need to bring back the reins a little bit, slow down a little bit, maybe not too much 3 wide. Let's play it a little safe. Still got 96 laps to go.
Speaking of that, 97 when they cross, or 96 when they cross the stripe. Green flags out for the 4th time today. That's into turn 1. Just now getting that E-Class car up to full song. Banks peeks to the inside. Radford not sure what line he wants to play here. Big momentum from the 21.
Yeah, it's kind of like the old super speedways, the way the Cup cars used to be, and really the way the Busch cars used to be. At least at Atlanta, it takes at least one full lap to get to full speed. You're not even going to be up to 175 until the entrance to turn number 1 after the restart. They'll hit 175 right here. Now we're ready to go.
On the outside, Noah Mahalski in the number 03. Got kind of shoved out of line there. Doesn't have a hold just yet. He's looking to the inside, but there's a car to his inside. Can't quite get a look at it there from the hood cam, so can't look from his back.
4 and 76 to his inside. You can see all the cars kind of laying back, whether it's by choice or because of damage. Either way, a lot of drivers running back there more than what we saw in the previous 2 runs that we had. Still new players at the front. Ganekin in 3rd, Hatchell 4th, Miller's up to 5th. Hennings, Bell, Radford, Trejo, as Radford has already slipped back to 9th after starting from the lead on this restart, as Adam Cabot, who we always see at the front, our most recent Super Speedway winner, I believe, at Talladega, he goes to the front.
17 of Cabot on the bottom of the racetrack. Takes over with Ganeckin. Now the 30 of Jeremy Miller runs the high line to the outside in second spot. He's going to get a push from Banks. There's Bell in the background. Also going to shout out Alex Bell. He got 2 wins in the V-Speed Invitational.
Big block by Adam Cabot. Those two, him and Miller, are teammates on another series, but wouldn't know it. That was a huge block. He'll go back to the bottom. Miller's actually going to get back down, so maybe they do work together a little bit here. Banks and Bell are teammates for sure. I know that for sure. They're going to work together a little bit. Miller's going to go to the outside of Cabot, does not want to follow the 17, so he'll go back, try to get to the front as we're more orderly 2x2 with a lot less cars at the front.
Coming off of turn 2, side by side for the lead. Miller yet to lead a lap here. Gonna have help from Banks, who gets a little bit loose there on the entrance of 3, gets pushed up out of line, and good thing Bell was backed off there. That could have been another one.
I think he hit Miller pretty hard and actually got himself loose into the corner with a bad bump, so they'll have to regroup and try that again into the corner. He's back to the bumper of the 30. Got to be square pushing at Atlanta. You can't get away with it like you might be able to at Daytona and Talladega. You do not get away with bad bumps here. If you miss your mark on the rear bumper, you're probably going to cause a big crash like we just saw for our second caution. These two are working together now, as we can see further back. The 51 is one of those drivers laying back. That's Christopher Hodges, just trying to buy his time.
Running on board with Hodges. The driver cam here, and I mean, you see the cluster of cars, you see some guys around you that have battle scars from being up there. I think the best bet right now is just kind of sit back and wait. I don't think you'd want to push the issue. We still have well over 150 miles to go.
Yeah, they're trying to get to at least one green flag pit stop, but we're still far away from that. We don't even know what the strategy might be like. We still might have to see, we will definitely have to see one more pit stop. We might still be in a 2 pit stop range. We'll just have to wait and see if we get there at all, as it's still Miller and Cabot leading these top lines. A lot more organization in that higher line up at the front, a lot less organization in the back, where a lot of drivers have lost the draft, like the 5, McFadden, 43 of Shoemaker. But pretty even lines at the front, although the bottom line not very formed up as McFadden hit the apron there.
Side by side, Miller on the outside here for the lead. Needs some help from the 35 of Banks, not going to get it there on the exit of 4 and across the stripe. Looks like Cabot going to lead another one just barely.
Gave it to Miller from what I saw, so barely, but 30 getting across the line first. That's how tight it could be after 120 plus laps. We've still got a ways to go until we get that point. But you can see how tough it is to stay formed up on the bottom. Ganeckin, he's not able to stay up to 17 very well, but it's still the preferred line. It's the shortest way around the track, so Cabot's able to stay down there. Now Miller comes down, gives a 17 draft, and kind of takes away from the 35 a little bit. But even behind 27, it doesn't seem like he has much help either. He's almost going to split the middle. Looked like Miller was kind of insecure about what line he wanted and stays on the bottom. So it's a little bit of a 5-car breakaway.
When you kind of play those lines, you see which one's coming and you cut down in front of it. But when you do that through the quad oval, the recipe for disaster, because guys might try to peek down there below that line. See that solid red line all the way around this racetrack? Well, it's fair game. So you can definitely cut below that unless the league expresses otherwise. I've seen guys go down there and just clip the grass and make a pass for the lead before turn 1.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll fly, but if we get to that situation near the end of a race, we'll certainly know. But one thing that's dangerous about that line is that it's a paint line, which means you got a lot of grip down there, but if you hit it wrong, it'll cut you sideways. It's a big move by Cabot to go back for the race lead, but if you hit that red and white paint line wrong in the middle of the corner, it will jolt you sideways. You could end up spinning in front of the entire field. So if it was the old Atlanta, I think you could use it, but I don't think you really want to touch it right now, unless you're on the straightaway. In that case, it's fine.
So at the tail end of this big pack of cars, you've got guys like Aaron Smith, Caleb Weekley, Stuart Patterson, and riding the train. Christopher Hodges there at the end of it as well. Mark Whitley, who picked up some damage there, riding behind his teammate who's out of this event. 77 doesn't look too beat up. he's keeping pace, and he probably could find his way back up here into the top 10. He is at the tail end of this group in 24th position right now.
Yeah, this 24-car field, maybe a few other lap cars mixed in there. There's another one coming off a pit road as battle for the lead continues between Miller and Cabot. Cabot went back to the bottom, trying to clear up on the 30 and Miller, but just cannot get the push from the 27 to do it. Seth Hatchell, the third car on the bottom, just not able to get up there to help that line at all. So this high line prevailing pretty easily because much more organization, much easier to stay in line and stay packed up.
We would talk about previously damaged vehicles. You had Jeff Wright, who was caught up in that as well. Another one of our championship drivers here at SNR. Won the inaugural season. He's had not a good start to this, but he's not out of it yet. He's sitting in 14th spot. He's kind of biding his time. Let these laps tick away. And we saw a lot of 3 wide to start. The excitement was there, but I think it was just a matter of time before we saw some guys get beat up, and then at that point, you saw this field calm down tremendously.
Yeah, a lot of drivers beat up, and that's kind of why it's calmed down. It's really only the top, I think, 14 or so that are 2x2. Everyone else is single file or just too slow to stay with the lead. As we got a big pack of lap cars entering turn 1 right now. They might come into play later. You got 3 lap cars that are about to get lapped. Sturgill, Cost, and Brandon Wallace. This is where it gets sketchy. It is very tough to pass lap cars here, especially if they don't go to the same line at the same time. So those 3 especially got to coordinate. Brandon Wallace goes to the apron. That's a smart move, but Sturgill and Cost are going to get caught in an awkward spot in the middle of the corner. So I think the best thing they could do is paint the bottom and just hope everyone else can navigate around.
Here they go drop into the bottom of the backstretch. Sturgill actually stays up on the racetrack. Gets everybody to the outside here.
That's all really because he's trying to be the one, the lucky dog. Everyone else is kind of just trying to get out of the way, but he's trying to make sure he can stay in contention for that lucky dog as Sturgill lets everyone else by. Cabot to the lead, Miller second, Gennecken in the 3rd position. They're side by side for second. Pretty tight side by side once they get side by side.
We're still trying to navigate that 3 machine, but the battle for the lead just in front there, and I'm waiting to see because it's been one car after another that's had to kind of domino and fit the puzzle pieces together to navigate around this 3 car. He is the lucky dog position, Max Cost, who's lost the tail end of this draft. He's got a lot of catching up to do. Seth Hatchell, Joshua Banks going at it for the lead. Just briefly there, actually, it was Cabot and Miller.
Yeah, that's the battle for 4th. Looks like Hatchell starting to come back to the front of that inside line a little more as they're going to catch more lap traffic. It's Jonathan Smith. He'll dive to the apron as well. So the Sturgill will still be the lucky dog car. But yeah, these drivers have still been battling really since the restart, or 3 laps after the restart. Miller and Cabot, it looked like Cabot was struggling on that bottom line, but now that bottom line seems to be getting more help, and Miller's losing a little help, where the 17 is able to prevail a little easier on that bottom line. But you'll see this 30 still get a run out of turn number 2 to the right rear of the 17, but Cabot's going to come up and block that quite easily with a lot of room to do it. Miller's boxed in, can't do anything about it. So this is how Cabot's going to try to control these lines until they maybe get to a pit stop.
So what you're seeing right now is Cabot is doing kind of similar to what we saw at the beginning of this race with Sturgill and with Radford and a few others, that they're working both lines. They're moving back and forth. Miller did the same thing. You got to play the momentum. You see a line getting a run on the outside, you break it up because this track's so narrow, there's nowhere for them to go. Here he is on the outside, so he knows the outside's getting the run. He moves up a lane, then he's going to take it back to the bottom, and he's still clear, but the 27 thinks otherwise.
It's the one thing about it, you can't cut it too close because Miller and Gennecken both had runs on him, so he couldn't really come down, but the middle line's still sturdy, still stable, and he can still get a good run doing that. And it's not really a problem, so he's able to get back by the 27. Now Miller's clear of Gennecken, but he did not choose to get down, but now he does. He's kind of following Cabot through here. And we'll see if he tries to make another move for the lead, or he might be content with pushing the 17.
I think this is part of his plan here, Connor, is to push that 17 out really far ahead of this field and then leave him out to dry.
Gonna be tough to do as Cabot late blocking the middle of the corner is never recommended, but if you're good enough like Cabot, you can make it work. But it's tight. It's a tight fit, especially with Miller, an aggressive driver himself, with another aggressive driver, Joshua Banks, with another aggressive driver, and Alex Bell, very aggressive crop drivers on the top line. As Cabot's still running that bottom line, but when he comes up, as Miller could have gone to the bottom or top,
Banks
really.
Is looking outside.
Yep, it's gonna kind of hose Miller to the bottom, but I think he'll be able to keep that spot. It's all about picking the right line, even at this point in the race. And this is all testing for the end of the race. Everyone's trying to work out what they can do on worn tires, what they can do on fresh tires, just trying to figure out what their plan of attack will be when instead of 70 to go, it'll be 7 to go.
47 laps in and hugging the bottom here. Joshua Banks pinching down on that 27.
Ooh, big move.
And here comes the 30 machine with the lead.
Now both drivers are going to make a mental note of that. Cabot's going to think he needed to block harder than that, but Miller knows that Cabot was not willing to block that hard. He snuck up to the right rear of the 17 out of turn number 2. I think Cabot thought he shut off so much room that Miller wouldn't risk going in close to the wall like that. He was wrong.
Well, I mean, drivers have the memory of an elephant, do they not? I mean, you can go back and recite everything that's ever happened to you, every driver that's ever done you wrong, and you know, sometimes those relationships, it's kind of like NASCAR 2004 and the EA games where you hit somebody the wrong way and you lose their trust.
Hit the L2 button a little bit.
Hit the L2 button a little bit. That's what you got to do. You got to bring it back, and you'll see that all season long here. And we actually pre-race there with the Banksy coming in as a new sponsor. Talked about the arguments and some of the highs and lows of racing just in this league alone. Some of the relationships that have, you know, soured or come back. Car off the track. Is that the 8?
Seth Hatchell got doored there by, I think it was Matt. Oh, we got slide, and looks like they saved it. I think he got doored by the Ally car. It was Matthew Radford, but it looks like they saved it as Miller almost got put 3 wide by Joshua Banks. That got tight out of 4. Miller's going to put 3 wide as we speak, but it was just a little contact between the 97 and the 8 here.
I came off the wall. Radford just kind of bounces the wall there, and that'll put Seth Hatchell back to the 18th spot.
And Hatchell saved a car, though, and that's what's going to matter as Cabot just put Joshua in the wall. Big crash. Well, not big. Banks and Ortega. Oh, Ortega slammed the inside wall. Ben Bafford, Angelo Horonis stack up after, and the caution is out. And that was 2 hard blocks by Adam Cabot. The first one didn't cause a yellow. That one did. Ooh, it was orderly.
That took Banks to the outside wall, and then watch the 2 here on the inside pit wall. Nowhere to go.
He took a huge hit. Yeah, this was a huge block in the middle of a dog leg. Yeah, this is tough. Yeah, Ortega has nowhere to go. And then Ortega tried to save it. He just had no room to do so. And Cabot pulled a similar block on the 30, really the lap before that as well. Put the 30, I thought, maybe in the wall. And this one was even later in the dog leg. Joshua Banks did a good job saving it. And then it looks like Ortega, Baffert, a few others kind of stacked up trying to check up because they didn't know where everyone else was going to go.
On board with Angelo Horonis.
I think he got hit. I don't know if he got hit or maybe he just had rear brake and checking up for it, but
I think the 14 of Baffert maybe helped him out there a little bit.
Just have to see here. Ooh.
Yeah, there was a couple accordion effects there.
Hatchell
well, there was an initial touch here. You're going to see 14 does get into him just a touch to get him loose, and then you're going to see it even harder after the fact.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a very aggressive block for lap 50. That kind of started all that. So I'm sure Joshua Banks will not be really happy about it. But it's kind of, it's tough to block in the dog leg, as that's not how you exit pit road. Stuart Patterson just doing some yard work. But yeah, that was really interesting. But looking back on it, it wasn't too much of a block. Cabot was up there. Banks tried to go higher, and there was no room for it, and you run out of room with the dog leg.
I think is part of it too, right? Because I think these cars are weird on that flat spot of that track where they get a little bit wiggly, and you don't want to put too much wheel into it, so you try to elongate that corner, make it as smooth as possible, and you get used to that. And when you have to move your line up a lane, you still put that same wheel input in there, and you just find the wall.
He also hit the bumper of Cabot right as they were going through the dog leg, and for some reason, the way iRacing's physics work, if you hit the bumper of someone wrong, it'll kind of stop your turning radius, and you won't be able to turn as well. I think that contributed to him pounding the outside wall as well, as majority of drivers, almost pretty much everyone came down pit road, whether for tires, well, everyone came down for fuel, almost certainly tires, but a lot of repairs for a lot of cars exiting pit road on the right side of the screen, as everyone who didn't need repairs is going to restart closer to the front. Jeremy Miller looked like he got speeding, so he'll be at the tail end, letting all these drivers by. Clark Ganekin got the lead out of all that, so Cabot will restart second to the 27.
Don't be worried yet if you're a 35 fan. Thinks he's still very much into this race, but what I can tell you is the 2 machine of Reggie Ortega, he's coming back on the racetrack, has heavy left-right damage on this machine.
He probably need to go to the care center with the driver's side hit like that,
wow.
But
yeah, there's no barrier down there at all.
No, I don't know if that was safer, but that's not a wall I don't think anyone's hit. But Blaney hit that wall in Nashville, so you never know. That was definitely like not a permanent wall that he hit, but he has enough, if he gets enough yellow flag laps, he might be able to still repair that fully, as still have a lot of drivers that are pretty damaged, so he's really not going to be at that big of a disadvantage, I would think.
And up for lap 55 when we go green, it'll be the 4th time today. Race recap, 3 cautions, 17 lead changes across the board, and mainly been between the front runners here. The only guy that's not in this picture now is the 30 machine. A little bit deeper in this field now after pit stops, but here we go. Green flag out. We're back underway in Atlanta. M&J Distributors.
Oh, got a spin in the back.
Got back here with Banks. It's the 45
Ethan
actually.
Collier. 39 of Ethan Collier was the one I saw sliding. There was stacking up near the back.
You got a little help actually from the 30 machine.
That was Jeremy Miller. It was a stack up, and Miller didn't see it. Everyone else got through with it. You stay green. I don't think Miller saw a stack up, but 39 did a good job saving it. Stay green.
Lap 56 underway. Adam Cabot not getting a lot of help now as Brian Hennings tries his luck at the top 3. He's up to 2nd spot after gaining 25 positions. The only other big gainer over top of him is Matthew Bradford. Actually, we have Ben Laughter is 30 spots gained. So he's been solid, but, you know, that kind of caught me off guard because the 64 has been lurking in this top 10 pretty much since the first 10 laps.
You started 35th, and he's almost inside the top 5, at least fighting for a top 5 right now, but he needs to get up and help the 17 of Cabot. He's fallen back a little bit, no help on that higher line, letting the bottom line get a good run, including Jeff Wright, who's like 4th in line on the bottom line, coming back to the front.
To the top 5 for the 48 machine. And the 77 50 trying to go 3 wide here through the exit of turn 4.
That got put to the high side. 3 wide.
Here we go again.
I think they're trying to get the 27 out of this pack. 74, Hennings put him up the track. Cabot did not push him, but they're both in the wall. Big stack up, but they kept it straight. Now, looks like the 15 of Bell's gonna push a 27, try to keep him up there as they're pushing hard into turn number 1. I believe that 17 might have hit one and moved down the backstretch.
Light brush with the wall, but otherwise good. Takes back the point. Hennings almost led that time by. Your laps led. He's going to fall back to 3rd, but resurges on the bottom. What's going on back here?
Whitley he had a big slide, big save. Him and Laughter had contact, but Looked like they kept it straight.
64 lost a few spots in that as well. Back to a 12th, 11th position.
Spread out the front pack even more here as Cabot's going to continue to lead. Brian Hennings is shoving him hard. Matthew Radford's up to third. Aaron Smith in the bright yellow 70. You can see him peeking out right there, making an appearance in the top 5 as Radford looks for the lead. Gonna get no
Radford
help.
doesn't get any help. Yeah, he doesn't get any help from the 27. He needed him glued to the bumper there. Hennings doing a fantastic job keeping Cabot up on the point.
Yeah, it's just been Cabot controlling the lines perfectly, only going to the top side when he needs to, and it's worked out so far. As the 97 is going to be the next challenger to try to take the lead from him, but even when Cabot's lost the lead, he's gotten it right back. He's going to stay to the bottom this time. 27 is going to shove the 97 into turn number 3.
It's about the time that the tires start to show wear again, and here goes Mark Whitley to the outside. I bet Mark Whitley wishes Joseph McWhorter was still out here because those two had worked their way really quickly through this field. They were playing on the third line in the first 10 laps, peaking for the lead.
He was the one to survive. Their 73 did not, as we're just past halfway in this race. Yeah, he's not going to have that teammate help, at least not as strongly as he wanted. 74 hit the apron, that was tight. But yeah, he's going to have to formulate a new plan.
Oh, they're sideways.
Oh, back into traffic almost. Nope. Kept it down. Whew. That could have been, I thought that was going to be way bigger. '74 and '97, only ones involved somehow. 74.
The apron you mentioned.
Yeah, then it kind of gets worse. He never really got the car back, washed it back up the track. I thought the 97 was coming back in front, but he turned it back left and kept it in the infield grass. But yeah, 74 just kind of lost it.
More than 74, and look at this, because you see the 97 and they meet in the middle here. I know the 74 washed up a little bit, but then the 97 come down.
See, almost made contact there. I thought, okay, we're good. We got through it. Cabot goes up the block, and yeah, the 97 came down a little bit. I think he maybe saw a hole to get to the inside of a 17, trying to avoid the block, and couldn't. 74 definitely washed up, but you can definitely see the 97 trying to make that move a tiny bit lower. There was no room for it.
Of course, this is for the lead, and that's where they keep happening, is right up towards the front.
Right here, yeah, he
Yeah,
tries
I think
to.
he saw a hole in the inside of Cabot there.
He tried to cut under him, maybe pull a crossover, but didn't have. He was not clear low to do it.
So Cabot, you know, he's been right at the front of all this carnage, and I think being the leader is the best place to be, because from second place on back, we've seen 3 separate incidents where guys have gotten caught up.
The Adam Cabot's been the common denominator in the lead that has kind of survived all these crashes, so it does pay off to be in the lead of this race. And we're going to restart with about 55 laps to go, and he'll still be the race leader.
We're just past the halfway point here in this race, so when we come back, I want you to find those volume knobs. You know what time it is, but until then, we're going to take a quick commercial break here on V-Speed. Of course, there's the schedule up on your screen. You can catch every single race here from the Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors, Matco Tools. You're watching Saturday Night Racing live on V-Speed. More coverage continues right after this.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs.
From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, We can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items.
Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today. Or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Back here live at Atlanta, the 17 of Adam Cabot, the common denominator here today. He has led 24 of the 66 laps completed. Well, 65 laps completed as we go on lap 66. We're past the halfway point. So with that, I think it's time to find those volume knobs here, Connor, while we have a chance. And a big block there for Martinez, and there goes the 64 into the wall.
Look out. Gonna come back into traffic. Crashing up ahead of it. Philip Brewer, Collier. Patrico was in that as well. We didn't even get a chance.
We tried. We tried 29 graphics. We really did.
Gotta get him next time. We didn't even make it. We didn't even make it to corner 3 on the restart. There was more blocking at the front. Cabot, a lot of people reacting to his blocks heavily. I think Martinez tried to go to his inside, and Ben Laughter got doored because of it, and then came back up.
Well, I just want to say, you only get away with so many of those, Adam. Eventually, somebody's not going to lift. They're not going to try to dodge you.
The thing is, I don't think he did lift. I don't think Alec did lift. We'll see. He gets to run to the outside. Cabot sees it coming, tries to shut it down here. He didn't really block hard high. I think Martinez thought he blocked to the wall, and he didn't. And then he just hit the 17's bumper, and he also came down and door slammed Ben Laughter. It's not that much of a block from Cabot, besides coming to the outside line. I think Martinez just kind of misjudged it, and 64-07, a few others were innocent bystanders.
And this might be part of the checkup here for the 28 as well. It might be completely unrelated.
We'll see right here. I think people are getting scared of. Yeah, he got right reared. That was maybe that might have been separate. Actually, it was hard to tell.
Now let's go on the blip camera here and get a better angle of it. I think the 28 there got into the right rear, or the 07 came up into the 28, but I think it was completely unrelated. Maybe just a sense of seeing that car down on the apron and looking at that instead of the guy to your outside.
It's possible. They get 3 wide here. Crash is happening up ahead. There's not much reaction there. Patrica kind of got squeezed, but yeah, the tough situation. I think it was unrelated. And McFadden got a piece of that as well. Looks like Storm Patterson got the nose ripped off of that 54, so he has damage to repair as well. And definitely, I think the 07 could have been trying to give the 64 room, give the bottom line room, maybe trying to anticipate Ben Laughter rejoining the track on accident, but it didn't. It just kind of lost track of where they all were and caused another crash.
Philip Brewer also getting a piece of that as well in the 44 machine, and that you can see it right there. It's staggered. It's not steering straight. He's going to actually pull it over and get a lot of that damage repaired, so he's going to tow it back to pit road, probably be done for the day. So Alec Martinez on the outside. He's probably expressing his displeasure to Adam Cabot right now. Not entirely sure, but he's going to go ahead of him here a little bit. And I can tell you this. 17, he's running out of friends. That I can tell you that for sure.
I'd be shocked if it worked to the end of the race. Like you said, I don't think his block really caused that crash, but I think it arguably the block on the 35 was a little debatable. He kind of squeezed the 30, but Yeah, we'll see. Eventually, someone will get sick of it, and he will get the bumper. Whether he gets turned or not, we'll see. But it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out and how much more aggressive he gets, because we're getting near the end of this race. We keep clicking off some green flag laps, a decent amount of caution laps. We're going to restart with 50 laps to go when we get the 1 to green this time by.
Well, we're just going to go ahead and hit the button. As soon as we go green, find the volume knobs. We're past the halfway in this point. 70 laps into this race, so we're looking at just over 50 to go. Let's restart here on board with the number 17 when we get to that point. But yeah, it looks like they delayed the green. They were doubled up ready to go, and I think they're going to go one more lap.
Yeah, lights went on the pace car, so they'll restart one more lap. I don't know if there's a different reason for it, or they're giving all these drivers more time to get repairs. Michael Sturgill's still making repairs. Ben Baffert, Banks, Klinger, Patrica, Wallace, all these drivers still getting repairs done.
There's Chad Klinger in the 09. He's had a rough start pretty much since lap 10. Remember, he was up front for a lot of the start of this race. He qualified up in the top 5, actually 8th position, so I take that back. He was a little outside of it, but was up in the top 5 very early. Was pushing for the lead. Him and Reggie Ortega had worked well together, got up into there to the 2nd, 3rd position, and he had 3 laps led. So hopefully Klinger can get that machine repaired enough, get back into this thing, as we are officially on the 1 to go signal. Lights are out on the pace car. Alec Martinez, Adam Cabot on the front row, Aaron Smith, Clark Ganekin, Jeremy Miller for the top 5. And it goes from Noah Mahalski, Radford, Trejo, Whitley, Wright for the top 10.
We're starting to weed out this field even more. Philip Brewer and Seth Hatchell have retired from the race. They got few drivers a lap down still in the field. Stephen Davis is 9 down. Butcher Benjamin's 13 down. A lot of retirements starting to stack up as we're going to restart with 50 laps to go.
That's Austin Belkey, Jonathan Smith, Kyle Peacock, Lakota Shoemaker, Threlkeld, McWhorter, Ferrata, Brewer, Hatchell out of this race. Got a few down on pit road still getting damage repaired. Adam Cabot taking the green flag. And here we go. Let's get loud with 29 graphics.
See what type of run that 18 gets out of 2, and we'll see how hard Cabot wants to block it. 18 and that 27 are pretty hooked up. 70 right on the bumper of Cabot, but still gonna get a good run on the top.
Well, we tried to get loud. We tried to do it again.
Big one, another big one. Trejo, Brandon Wallace. Got some damage in that one. I don't know how I did that. Completely forgot what we were doing. They were even further behind. Yeah, we'll get a few more attempts at it.
Yeah, I mean, we're still trying to get it done, so at that point, the 3rd time's the charm, maybe?
Ooh. Yeah, well, Mark Whitley kind of came up the track there.
That's a 23 there. Ray Massey gets involved.
I guess Brandon Wallace might have gotten hit in the stack up, but yeah, Massey got a decent bit of front end damage. You'll see, it's kind of easy to get lost behind someone entering the corners here. It almost looked like that's what Whitley did. Watch him right here. There's a stack up there. That's what happened. They stacked up. He kind of came up to give the 97 room, and that's what happened. That's why he kind of came up the track. So they stacked up pretty hard on pit road. It looks like Alex Bell and one of the Shoemaker brothers, Bryce Shoemaker, had contact, but they had contact in this caution. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, no, just ran out of room.
And I think Brian Hennings is the one that like snuck past this. We'll go on board with him. Gets by this unscathed.
It's in the back because of the previous incidents. One of them, at least, is. Yep, look out. Yep, he's through it. That's a good job just getting on the brakes.
Of course, Brian Hennings still had a little bit of adrenaline today. Was able to go to Sonoma Raceway for a track day, and was talking about, you know, the guy out there on the racetrack, let him pass a few cars, which I don't know if you've, I just saw Joshua Banks stick his tongue out, actually. See if
I
he
didn't
does
see
that
it.
again.
It's probably for the best. I didn't see it.
Let's pull him up here. I just saw it, so get him up here in the booth. Is he in the Discord right now?
Trying to look. Yeah, he's in there. You want to talk to him? Go ahead.
Joshua Banks. It's Bradley Cooper in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy, buddy?
I got you, old son.
What were you sticking your tongue out for just a second ago?
I was just excited that I got my damage fixed.
Oh, it's finally done.
Finally done. At 3 minutes and some odd seconds of repairs, and she's finally back to normal. Well, 80%.
It only took 74 laps to do it, huh?
Well, ever since the incident on the front stretch, it kind of kinked the right front camber, so we were hoping for cautions, and here we got them. So we're back in the race.
In the race. Well, I can tell you this, it was a good start. You were up in the top 5. You were pushing a lot of guys to the lead. We can go back and touch on it if you want to. What was your side of things there on that quad oval?
Just hard racing, you know. It's Clash. We're all racing hard, trying to get the lead. Cabot's really good at trying to hold that lead, and obviously I think he is. He's still up front, yeah. So just shows you it's tough to pass, and I'll try to get a run on him, and just ran out of room and smacked the wall. So I don't want to take anybody's blame for it. Just hard racing.
Outside of that, we're getting ready to go back green. Anybody you'd like to shout out here before we put you back in the Fat Boys channel?
Man, just we got to shout out you guys in the booth for putting on a league, man, or at least broadcast, and the admins putting on a league. You know, probably touched on it already, but I am sponsoring this league. So shout out to M&J Distributors. It's a company I work for, or at least I am the co-owner of it. So shout out to that and all that fun stuff, my friend.
All right, man. We'll see you here after a bit. Maybe we'll get to talk to you post-race.
Let's hope, man. I don't know how the car's going to be, but we got to get through all the chaos first.
Joshua Banks in the number 35 as we get another lap here under caution. I think that's an opportunity maybe to pull up another guy into the booth.
Quick lap. Who are we looking for?
Go for Brian Hennings. I think we pull him up here, ask him about his Sonoma track day.
Is he in here? There he is. VRX Simulators. Let's get a word with him.
Brian Hennings, Bradley Cooper, Connor Horn in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Hey, we're going to green here very soon, so I'll make it short, but you're coming off some adrenaline there. You got a little sideways. You're racing at Sonoma today in some Ferraris. Does any of that translating here on this asphalt?
And I lost you. You still there?
Yeah, I got you now. Down the back
Yes,
stretch, you got us?
Yeah, I was quite excited. Didn't want to get sideways there, but I think somebody doored me a little bit. But it's racing. But yeah, I'm quite excited right now.
All right, man. Well, you're doing a phenomenal job working your way back towards that top 5. Maybe we'll get to see you post-race, but good luck out there, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Ryan Hennings in the 11th spot, 74. The RX driver will be in the contender, or the Challenger Series round. We start up there next Saturday. Adam Cabot, Aaron Smith, front row. Well, you're familiar with seeing the 70 car up towards the front and the 17. You're on V-Speed. Well, we're going to try it one more time.
Let's try it again.
Get loud. we finally got through it there, Connor, and getting loud here, presented by 29 Graphics for riding on board the head honcho there at 29 Graphics. Julio Villalobos, he's currently in the 18th position, trying to get by some of this traffic. Actually, it's a pretty clean car, but he's been rather quiet here in the first half of this race. Do you expect him to pick it up and try to get through this field?
I think everyone's going to try to. He's just going to be one of the drivers trying to get from the back to the front. But it's hard to pass here when you get 2 wide and even try 3 wide. So you need to be at the front pretty soon to be able to make the move that you want to make to get to the lead and try to race for the win. Got 40 laps to go. You probably need to be in the top 10 or so by 20 to go to really have a chance at this one, as we're already mixing it up at the front. Aaron Smith is taking the lead over, but Cabot now with a push from Miller. Miller pushed the 70 clear for the race lead, but he's going to have to push the 17 back clear, as they're going to be in a dead heat across the line, with the 70 leading that lap by just about 8 1/1000ths of a second.
Aaron Smith, who was champion again there, we mentioned the V-Spot rotation. A lot of guys representing Saturday Night Racing did it well. Alex Bell, Jack Klinger, quite a few people in there that, you know, the top 10 in points, so you take them all, jumble them up. Well, I think it was 70-80% of the top 10 in those final points was from SNR, and there's another block and a big shove.
Man.
I told you he wasn't going to lift, but what a save from the 17 of Cabot.
Well, Jeremy Miller is one that's never going to block for that. He only lifted once the 17 looked like he was spinning, but he slammed him. And now he's going to have to recover, get by Mahalski, Ganek, and Aaron Smith. Look at the run Miller has. Miller did not lift until there. And he's
on board with the wheel work of the Cabot here.
I don't know how he saved that. That was wild, as he's going to come back to the lead live almost, but this was wild. He sees the run to the high side, blocks it, gets in front of it, but Miller does not lift. Look at the wheel work. Back, forth, twice. That was incredible. And he's still going to get the race lead back live out of turn number 2. Now Jeff Wright's going to be the one pushing him. He might be more lenient in the front bumper, but he's blocking the 48 still.
I remember Jeff Wright was in that situation earlier in this race in the 3 wide where he got some of that damage. But he probably won't do what we just saw, where he shoves the 17. I hope.
Well, he kind of can't. I don't think he wants to go 3 wide. He might not get help. Alec Martinez is going to force it 3 wide. He almost hit the wall entering the corner. He tried to get to the outside of Christian Angel in the 76, just couldn't do it. He and Ben Baffert are hooked up once again, trying to get back to the front.
On board with the 18 of Alec Martinez. Was it an intentional try at 3 wide, or did that car just get really aero tight? Sometimes it looks like guys are making moves, but turn 3 entry can definitely catch you off guard. It's the fastest part of this racetrack. We're going to go into turn 1 at 179 miles per hour, 180 for Martinez. Down this back straight, we're going to go even faster than that. Probably going to be topping around 183, and he is going to take it 3 wide. Here he goes.
He went to the middle. 76 couldn't hold the middle line, couldn't pinch the bottom line down, and he took the opportunity. Now the 76 is not going to have help, but with how much these drivers are having to handle these cars, he might still be able to hang out there for a little bit longer, but he's not going to get any help. Joshua Banks certainly won't let him in, as still 2x2 at the front. Cabot just clear of the bottom lane. He'll go back to the bottom lane, pushed by the 48, who's pushed by Mark Whitley at the front, who maybe found a teammate for now in the 48 cars. They're still 3 wide.
We're thinking about it, and I think that 14 car, Baffert, just wants to stay glued to Martinez, but it's not working out. The 76 is definitely throwing a wrench in that. It's Christian Angel on the outside, preventing those 2 teammates from working together.
And Baffert could go to the bottom, but he's still trying to get Christian Angel out of it. Martinez, he's going to go 3 wide, looking to the right rear of Mark Whitley, but he's not going to be able to get there. Now Baffert goes to the bottom, so they won't be able to stay together for now. 76 gets back in line in middle. We're back to 2x2, and it seems like these lanes are a little more even as far as pace right now. A lot more shoving going on in that bottom lane as this race gets closer and closer to the end.
Well, Jeff Wright has somehow got the 17 back to the lead, and just as we said that, the outside line prevails. Now Jeff Wright has help from the 77 of Whitley. Mark Whitley pushes, another hard shove to Cabot. 3 cars pushing each other. And with this aero model on the B car, it's a little out of date. It's one of the last stock cars to be updated. You probably don't want to do that too much.
Not really. 3-car tandem, you never want to push the pusher at all, so you're not going to get away with that too many times. Whitley almost looked like he looked to the middle 3 wide on right, but couldn't do it. Jeremy Miller's going to go to the third lane, trying to recover from contact with the 17. He has a little help from the 76, but not much, as Martinez probably going to block that off even if he gets a run to the right rear. Dead even at the line for the race lead once again.
And speaking of the 30, we also have the 35 of Joshua Banks, who, well, he was licking his lips. He said, I got the damage repaired, and here he is back in the top 10. Big shove here from the 30 of Miller, and that's a tight hole to fit through.
Joshua Banks is looking to the inside of Whitley, couldn't do it. It's like wherever Miller goes, Martinez, he doesn't know who to go with. He doesn't know to push Martinez or the 35. I think he wants to get to the front. He needs to try the third line, but it's very tough. Here goes Whitley to the third line. Gonna hang the 48 out a little bit here. Miller back to the bottom.
Contact. 27 tagged the apron.
He saved it though, kept it down for the time being. Banks up the track. Miller back to the third lane. Things are picking up now. Cabot doesn't block. Look at this run from Mark Whitley to the middle. What a move.
We just clicked the wrong button. Whitley still gets around.
And now what does Cabot do? He's stuck in the middle, so now it's Mark Whitley's decision on which one of these 3 lanes he needs to block. There's going to be big runs from the top lanes. I'd get up, but he's going to stay to the bottom, let the top 2 lanes get to his outside. 3 wide for the lead, contact for the lead.
I wanted so badly to go back and watch that move. It's back camera angle there.
Oh, big block. Martinez blocked by the 17 again. Now Cabot's, he's just trying to work all 3 lanes. He can go back to the middle, chop the nose of the 48 of right, but he didn't really get all the way down. Still struggling with the front tires right now, I think. On the 17, Whitley struggling. He's up the track. The 48's going to have to push for the 17 of Cabot to re-enter the race lead, I should say.
Wide battle. Here comes Martinez with the 30 of Miller. 35 of Banks.
Martinez!
Martinez is around. Jeff Wright to the inside wall. Big wreck down the backstretch.
Another big one. They're still crashing. Goodness. When you get that packed up, that's bound to happen. Man, it just looked like it's like Alec Martinez maybe gets away with it, but it was Jeremy Miller who turned the 18 in front of the field. Goodness. That might have been the biggest one of the night. You watch here, the 18's gonna get a little tight, 30's gonna get a little run on him, doesn't lift off his bumper, just tags him. It's all it takes. The rear of these cars gets so light out of the corner. When you get a tiny tap, there's nothing you can do. Another big hit from Miller there, too. No, nowhere anyone could really go if you were in that lead pack 3x3. And he got hit a number of times. Right, Massey, I don't know if he got in this or not. We haven't talked about Mahalski a lot tonight either. He got into this lead pack, and it just all comes down in front of him.
And that's a popped engine there for the 03.
Be the end of his race, almost certainly. Be the end of a lot of races this time, actually, as a lot of drivers are going to pit. They might take one of their last sets of tires. As I think the 51 and 54 just hit on pit road accidentally, but a lot of drivers are going to take their final set here. Martinez is going to take some repairs. There were maybe 5 cars coming off of pit road early that maybe didn't need repairs. Cabot, Whitley, Banks, Sturgill, and Ganekin. They might have been the only ones who didn't need some sort of repair. Ben Laughter, Caleb Weekly need some repairs. It is a junkyard on pit road.
Linger back down to get service. Ben Bafford. Looks like the 18 of Alec Martinez just now down and away. He got minimal damage from that. Astoundingly, he gets the least of the damage from all the cars involved in that.
That's what I was mentioning. He got turned in front of the field, but somehow it seemed like everyone who came in later avoided him. Really piled into the 30 more than the 18. He tapped the outside wall lightly, but for the most part, he saved that thing. So he's gonna have a short. Yeah, he's gonna have a short amount of time to get back through the field, but he's got one of the cleaner cars in the field now.
Yeah, it was his saving grace that he kind of went back towards that outside wall, and everyone was able to dodge him, and he'll actually maintain a top 10 out of all of this. So somehow. I think maybe we bring old Alec Martinez up here in the booth.
Possibly, as long as he's in here. He should be in here. I'm trying to look. Where is he? Let's find him. There he is. Let's bring him up.
Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper, Connor Horn in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Sorry, I do.
Well, Alec coming up there on the outside for the lead. Got touched kind of at the wrong time, in the wrong place at the wrong time. However, you're still in this top 10. You got slingshotted towards that outside wall. You kept it out of harm's way, and here you are still in a position to win this thing. What's your expectation here for the remainder of this race?
At the rate it's been going, I think we got to just be here and be alive. I think that's a big part of it. But it's been fun. Jeremy apologized, and I know he didn't mean to do it. It sucks that we got a lot of cars taken out in that, but we've been decent enough. I feel like I've been more aggressive making moves. There's no points. I'm just here to win, and just got to be careful with everything happening ahead. The blocks are going to get aggressive. The race is going to get more intense, although I know we don't have a lot of cars left, but it's going to get more intense, a little more crazy. We'll probably wreck a couple more times, and luckily these NASCAR Xfinity cars are pretty tough, so just kind of get a new bumper bolted on, and we're back good as new. So I don't know, it's going to be fun. Hope everybody's enjoying the show. I think we're putting on a decent show for these cars here, and we'll see if we can go get the win.
Well, in the talent pool and the mix of all the different drivers had to eliminate this field down to 43 cars after 50 people plus were in the session to start. It's been a phenomenal show from our perspective. We'll keep you posted on what your perspective will be. A little bit extra, as they would say.
From the driving standpoint, it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. The teammate in 27's been doing good, Clark, and Clark Jenigan's doing really good. So we're just gonna see if maybe we get working together and one of us two can win. I know Ben's got some damage, and I think Storm got some damage too. But overall, though, it's been pretty fun to drive. I enjoy racing Atlanta, and kind of wish it was a points race, but it's been fun, and I'm looking forward to the end of this thing here.
Well, Alec, we'll put you back down there in the team channel, but we appreciate your time, and maybe we'll have you up here for the post-race.
I hope. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Alec Martinez, the number 18, he'll restart just outside row number 4. And, Adam Cabot still up on the front somehow.
Look at all the cars single file. That's how many drivers were getting final damage repairs.
Yeah.
For everyone 8th on back is single file. So these drivers are going to be trying to get back to the front very quickly, because all the way back to some of the lead lap cars like Alex Bell, they got a long way to go to get near the front.
Here we go. 8th time today the pace cars had to pull off. Adam Cabot gonna get the jump here. Joshua Banks on the inside doesn't give him a shove. There's a hole there for Whitley. He doesn't quite take it. Cabot's gonna move up to the high line. That was smart on his part.
Yeah, there's no help on the outside, inside, but the inside's still gonna get the better run through the corner. That's just how it works. No help for either lane, really. It's all about just keeping the 35 and 77 behind him for the time being. 35 looking for a run, didn't quite get up in time. Now he looks to the outside, back to the inside, trying to formulate that run maybe off the corner.
Just at the tail end of the season there on season 2, Joshua Banks becoming a father for, I believe, the 2nd time. So now 2 kiddos running around the house. Things have settled down there in the Banks family, but congratulations to him. And we said, well, you just go in there, hold her hand for a few minutes, come back and race the championship. He said, no, doing that duty. I get it. I understand it. But, when you got a championship on the line, come on, here's the redemption. Win the Clash.
There's a good chance at it. He's, like we said, he's another one that's one of the more clean cars in the field now after all the crashing we've seen, but Adam Cabot's still spotless. The rear bumpers had some dings in it, but he's still been leading majority of this race, it seems like. And he has a decent push from the 27 to Ganekin at this point. Martinez on the bottom line, and it's a pretty even lines. This field much smaller at the front now, about 13 cars in this lead pack now. Everyone else not really able to keep up as they're getting sideways out of 4.
12, 13 cars have broke away from the rest of this pack. Bobby Patrica, the tail end of this group, in the number 28. Running on the inside, there's Julio Villalobos. We asked the question earlier, is he going to work his way up towards the top 10? Here he is in the final 20 laps when they cross the stripe.
He's just got to work to get closer to the front, one of those front few rows, but it's going to be hard to make 3 wide work at this point with how small this lead pack is. You really don't have enough cars for a third lane to really work unless it's maybe a 2-car tandem or the bottom 2 lines get that checked up.
They're still going to try it. They're still going to try it, Connor. You know it.
I would think someone like Chad Klinger, who's really he's had damage repair since the second caution, trying to make it work. Banks up the track. Whitley put him out of the groove. Now that's not the third line you want. Whitley shoved him out of the corner. It's going to hang the 35 dry. Now Whitley's going to lead that second line. Now he's going to have to get the push from the 3 of Michael Sturgill, who I think he's been had damage since the first caution, as I thought Banks got a tap. In reality, he didn't. He just kind of misread the run that the 77 has and kind of hung himself out.
He's kind of back now, just out the position there.
It's tough track position to lose this late.
Yeah. And unfortunately, he has a very damaged machine, Jack Klinger, who's holding on here. Impressively so. There's Max Cost on the inside. How about that? I haven't mentioned his name too much today. He's in the top 10. He has a real shot. He's got one of the cleanest cars on this racetrack.
And as the day gets later in sim time, that track temp's probably coming down more and more. It's like 100 degrees right now, which is lower than it's been for the majority of this race. And it's going to mean that those drivers are going to be able to go side by side much easier than they had earlier in this race. So it's going to be much more tight action like we're seeing right now for the rest of this race. And that bottom line does not have much help. Mark Whitley is pretty much clear of Adam Cavitt. He'll take the lead.
It's last season's Clash winner, Max Cost, who got the victory at Daytona. But here's the 77 of Whitley. Just have the weather up there, track temperature, it's not going to change. I think 100 is probably here from on out until the end. If we hit 99 degrees, I don't think these guys will care. They're going to take it 3 wide for the final laps. Here comes Sturgill to the outside. How about that? He was fighting for the lucky dog position just about in the halfway point in this race. He's now racing for third, and they are really scattering towards the wall. Ben Laughter almost hit it. 3 wide.
And he's trying that. Couldn't tell if he's the one trying the third lane. Oh, they're going to door him and Klinger. I don't know if he tried the third lane or he got hung out. I think he might have gotten hung out based on the contact. They're still hitting. That was the second hit. He's really out of the group now. Max is going to get by. Cap got to the outside of Whitley. Radford almost went 3 wide, middle for the lead, as that's almost done. Race for the lead. Cabot's trying to hang on.
15 laps left. Whitley to the inside. Cabot, who stayed up front the vast majority of these laps. 64 in the wall there briefly. Now down to the inside. That looked like, I'm not sure who that was, Hodges, who had to dodge in there. These guys were trying to hold on to the tail of this draft, and they're going to lose the pack. 3 wide at the end of it. Ray Massey in the middle.
Yeah,
almost contact with Villalobos.
Yeah, if they're not careful, they'll lose it. They got to sort it out rather quickly, I would think, as Patrica's in this pack, just inside the top 10 as well. Cabot's back clear for the lead, pushed by Mark Whitley. Oh, 17 got sideways. He chased it all the way up the track. Now he's blocking Whitley, down high, down low. Now the 77 got to the right rear. They almost wrecked that at turn number 2, and they stay side by side for the lead instead. That was wild.
That another Adam Cabot save that we need to go back and watch?
That was pretty close. It was not as good as the other one, but it was still good.
They're dooring each other hard.
I think Mark Whitley's tired of the blocking. I think that's what it comes down to. I don't think Sturgill's going to appreciate it either. This is going to be tight to get this replay in because they're still hitting, dooring each other out of turn number 2. You're going to see it right about, I think, here. Big correction there. Had to save it.
Not as impressive as the quad oval. That one's a 7 out of 10.
But still very hard to do at such a high speed in the middle of a corner like that. That's pretty good. Whitley double 7s to the lead. Mark Whitley led that lap as we're closing in. 2 laps away from 10 to go as he's giving Adam Cabot no room.
Again. They are giving no room at all.
I think that's his message saying, Cabot, I'm tired of the blocking. You're staying down there. I don't think he appreciates how aggressive the blocking is. He's giving him absolutely no room on the bottom here. He's going to do it again, pinch as hard as he can. He does not want Cabot getting all the room in the world off the corner to get a good corner exit. And he's not getting much help from Sturgill because of it.
Well, Sturgill doesn't want to put his nose in there. Why would you?
Oh,
wow. Okay, message received.
I don't think he meant to do that. He turned in on him too early. That's going to put him to the third lane. He might be out of this fight. And that's exactly what Adam Cabot wants to see. 97's going to push him. Then Bapper gets out of the way. Here goes Bradford for the lead.
All right, so we're fanning out all over the place here for the last 10.
97 has a good run. Now it's Max Cost pushing to 17, and he's not getting much of a push. Cabot isn't. Bradford might go to the lead here. He's fully clear. Double crash. Big crash.
Oh, big wreck behind him.
Car upside down. That's Whitley. Tumbling to a halt. Pirouetting.
Back to 4.
Just. Gosh, that did not think that was going to happen. Into the corner. What a hellacious crashes tonight. Goodness. Goodness, I'll get another replay of this. I didn't really see where it started. Ooh, Banks stuck his nose in very late.
Massey, yeah, and Massey on the inside comes up and shoots to the outside wall after that. And there's the pirouette that you just mentioned. Going on board with Ray Massey here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Banks just saw a hole and figured it was so late in the race he had to go for it. It's kind of what I chalk that up to. It was a very late entry, very late 3-wide move. He just got right reared. I don't think he moved up. Huge hit for him as well. They gave Matthew Radford the lead.
Did you see that?
I did not. That was the 13 sliding. A big moment as well.
He's going to dodge this up until he doesn't, right here.
Oh, gosh, nothing he could do. 23 just came down the track. So Mark Whitley actually just came up and swerved at Adam Cabot under caution. So he was clearly not. He was clearly not happy.
And that was here.
Lap 113. Yeah, just right there. I don't know what the last side-by-side they had. I mean, 77 kind of came down on him, but clearly he was not happy with how Adam Cabot was racing.
Whitley blew smoke there.
That's what happens when you go upside down, I guess. But yeah, he was not happy with Adam. Didn't hit him, just kind of the old swerve at him and say, hey, I didn't like that. That's what he did.
But he goes by, so here's what you were talking about right here.
Yeah, he was just guess he wasn't happy with how Adam was racing. And Baffert got the lucky dog.
Back to a live shot here. It looks like Radford's going to be the leader.
Michael Sturgill second.
Yeah.
It's pretty huge at this point in the race. Cabot not only loses control of the restarts, but he's not even going to be able to be front row. So he's going to have work to do to get that race lead back, I would think. I don't think there's going to be many people working with him. He's been very aggressive, and his blocks have been working even though they've been aggressive. But we're at that point where everyone's kind of going to treat him like a Jeff Gordon or a Dale Jr. is like, all right, you're too aggressive and too fast. I am not going to help you. I'm going to help anyone else but that 17 car. That's what I would think the mentality from everyone else should be at this point, because if you're going to push Cabot to the lead, there's a good chance you're not going to get by him. I think the best thing you can do is try to hang him out if you're one of those other 9 drivers in the top 10.
Somebody we haven't mentioned too much here today, but he is in 14th position. It's Brandon Wallace in the number 99. We're going to pull him up into the booth. Brandon Wallace, it's Connor Bourne, Bradley Cooper in the B-Speed booth. You got a copy.
Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, I got a copy.
Okay, you're sitting in 14th right now. The rules of attrition have started to play into this race considerably.
Yeah.
Now you got a real good shot here with about 5 laps to go. So what's your take on this?
It's still a little chaos up in the front. We got just got the last of my damage fixed from lap 7 or 8, so hopefully the car's up to speed. I got 4 tires, and hopefully I can do something with it and we don't crash our brains out.
Crash our brains out. You know, I've been there. I've done that a time or two, but here at Saturday Night Racing, you've got a 43-car field. You're putting on the first event here for Season 3. It's got to be kind of special to come back here and put all these great drivers together and you up here in the better half of it.
Yeah, man, it was cool. We had 50 cars that, qualify and take a lap here, and it's just nice to get the seasons kicked back off and racing with these guys again. So,
well, Brandon, we thank you for your time. Anybody you'd like to shout out here before we go back green?
Just all my bandits, teammates, and you guys up in the booth, man. Thank you guys for doing the broadcast. I'm listening to it as I'm driving, so it's kind of like texting and driving sometimes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we apologize that you have to hear our voice so much, but we appreciate you listening and tuning in on V-Speed, and we'll see you maybe post-race.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good one.
And it's Motorsports driver Brandon Wallace. Restart here in 14th. So you got Chad Klinger up there with a very damaged machine. He's going to salvage this day, and he's going to try to bring it home in the top 3. You've got Adam Cabot, who has not made any friends today. Now you have a new leader with Radford and then Sturgill, who was up front earlier in this race. What's the recipe here? Is this the perfect storm, or is this something we're going to make it to the end of this thing with?
I think it's going to be a storm. I think if you're Sturgill or the 97 of Radford, you got to block Cabot as hard as he block you. You cannot let him get to your right rear, left rear, whatever. You got to be keeping him in your mirror. Chad Klinger's going to have to do the same if he can get clear on this restart by any chance. Everyone's going to have to be against that 17, or else the 17's easily going to win.
But here we go with 5 laps left in this event when they cross the stripe. Green flag out. The clash at Atlanta is about to close.
Sturgill didn't get a good restart. Radford did, but Cabot's up to second. And he'll probably have a run on the outside of turn number 2. Here he goes. He's going to cut back down. Crossover. What a move. Faked out Radford.
Quite the move there for Cabot.
Just like that, back in control. Big run from Michael Sturgill to the rear bumper. Swooped high. Lost his momentum doing that, though. He's going to keep it up there, I think. Now Max Cost has a run. Cost got turned. 63 through the grass. He's going to keep it down. He's going to save it. They're going to continue to fight at the front with Sturgill in second. Alec Martinez is back up to second.
Where did he come from? He was turned earlier. He got a little bit of the bad end of things into the wall. And now battling for the second spot on the inside. And there's Christopher Hodges in the 5th spot.
Martinez going to light up the rear bumper of Cabot out of 4, but didn't really get him loosened up out of the groove. He's trying his hardest to get clear of Sturgill. Then he'll make that move to the top side. Not quite clear into turn number 1. He might wait until the exit. He slammed Cabot. Well, not slammed, but he hit him in the 1. He's probably going to try to make this move out of turn 2, but he's not going to commit to it.
On the backstretch, offset 3 wide there briefly. 97 looking for a hole. Martinez gets loose there on the entry of turn 3. Car into the wall, that's the 54 who finally got that damage repaired. Remember, he had no front end, and that's Storm Patterson falling out of the top 10. 3 wide in the back.
And there are 2 to go at the front. Cabot's able to hold the bottom, even though Martinez is on his bumper. Looks like it's going to be a 97 trying to run that 3rd lane back to the front. Sturgill just can't get enough of a push from the 09. Here goes Alex Bell to the top 3 wide.
I don't know if that outside line has enough here, but we're going to take the white flag out of turn 4 for the second to last time. 1.5 miles left as they cross the stripe. Cabot going to hold on. He's got to play all 3 lanes through 1 and 2.
He's going to be clear of both lanes. If they stay side by side, that might be all he needs. Crash at the back, a 2-car incident, but it's still, he's pulling away from Alec Martinez and Michael Sturgill. Here comes Sturgill's run. Will he block it? No, he doesn't. It's going to be side by side to the line. Martinez, a big shove to the 17.
This is going to be close here at the stripe. Out of turn 4 for the final time. A door check from the 3. Sturgill, another door check across the stripe.
Sturgill.
It's Michael Sturgill.
And they crash after the line.
They all come crashing. And Michael Sturgill somehow with the run on the outside.
Wow. It seemed like that entire 5-lap run, he did not have enough to get alongside, but Chad Klinger just shoved him down the back out of 4 all the way to the line. Got the 3 that win. He led 7 laps. He had damage from the start, and he recovered the win.
He's going to burn it down here on the front stretch. Victorious here again. Michael Sturgill comes back. Hopefully running full time. Gets the clash, and he's going to burn it down here in the quad oval where a lot of people struggled here with the wall today. How about that? That's just, what a finish. To take it away from what Cabot did all race long, it came down to the last 600 feet of this racetrack.
Yeah, I'm sure Cabot's going to be not thrilled after being at the front all race, coming up about 0.02 of a second short, and it looked like Martinez kind of abandoned the push. But Michael Sturgill had Chad Klinger in his back pocket the entire time. That was the difference, as this is going to be the replay of the finish. Third line could never get going, really. I didn't see who the 2 cars who crashed at the back were, but it was not until the big crash happened out of 4 where we saw majority of the field. This push right here wins him the race. He gets such a shove down the back straightaway. They're connected all the way. Martinez was not connected to the 17 of Cabot, and that made such a huge difference just getting that run down the back stretch. And then right here, you'll see Martinez kind of go below the red and white line, completely actually, he gets doored by Klinger. That's what loses Adam Cabot his push, and that was the difference as well.
But how about Chad Klinger with that damage, able to salvage the day into the top 3? I mean, he was on and off pit road several times here today to get that damage repaired. And so congrats to him on the top 3. But, you know, somebody finally figures out a way around Adam Cabot with all the blocking and all the moves, the scheming that you had to do. Michael Sturgill is victorious in the first race of season 3. But how about that? Post-race interviews coming up right after this. You're watching the Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors here on V-Speed. More coverage continues. Your final results right after this.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs.
From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items.
Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward.
What's up, everyone? I'm Joshua Banks, driver of the number 35 Matco Tool Supra, and also co-owner of M&J Distributors, for the sponsor of Saturday Night Racing. So I just want to thank every single one of you for tuning into tonight's race. I hope you will put on a good show for you guys. I hope that you will enjoy it. So if you do, make sure you drop a thumbs up to V-Speed and subscribe to them, because they, as y'all know, if you haven't already, they put on some great broadcasts. So I'll make this short and sweet. The main reason for sponsoring Saturday Night Racing League is because I've been with these guys for a long time. I've raced with a lot of them. I've been through some rough times, some good times, and arguments and everything like that. But still, grand scheme of things, been through a lot of these guys, and I really do like where this league's going. I want to support it. They've given a lot to the league already, and I think, I'm capable to support back. So that's what we're doing, and we want to keep this league free, for people to join, to have a good time, come in and race and just have fun, and that's what we're all about. So that's the main reason, and that's all I really have to say about it. So I hope you do enjoy the race, enjoy the season coming up. We are hopefully going to put on a great season for you guys. Also, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Banksy the iRacer. Link will be in the description. Check out, and you can see my point of view, see what's happening on my end. If you want to watch it, it's completely fine. If not, no big deal. So come on over, hang out after the broadcast of this race, and hopefully we'll see you over there. If not, enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on track.
Back here live from Atlanta Motor Speedway, where the Saturday Night Racing League has concluded its Clash event at Atlanta. 120 laps, and victorious here today was Michael Sturgill after coming out with, I believe it was 4 laps led. 7 laps led. Well, how about that? So, victory in the number 3 pit. But final results coming up on your screen now. Adam Cabot, who led the vast majority of the laps today, he falls back to second. Guy Klinger, impressive finish for him after 8 cautions, 39 lead changes. Klinger was a part of at least 4 of those cautions. He salvages the day with a heavily beat up Sherwin-Williams Camaro. Alec Martinez, V-Speed's very own, is going to get a top 5 in 4th spot. Matthew Rafford, a top 5 for the 97. Christopher Hodges, another one of those names from VRX, he's going to get 6th. Alex Bell, 7th. Ben Laughter in 8th. Angelo Horonis, 9th. And 29 Graphics representative and owner rounds out the top 10 with Julio Villalobos.
And most of these cars were destroyed and still had decent finishes. Storm Patterson had no front end for maybe a quarter of this race. He got 11th. Brandon Wallace, 12th. Ethan Collier is going to be in the 13th position. Caleb Weekly, 14th after the crash late. Mark McFadden had a crash early, recovered for 15th. Ben Baffert had a lot of damage, finishing 16th. Bobby Patrica, I believe, crashed on the final lap of the race in turn 1 with Ray Massey. He finished 17th. Christian Angel 18th. Max Cost, who kind of got shuffled out of the pack with maybe 3 or 4 to go, finished 19th. And then Brian Hennings in the 20th position, tail end of a lead lap into 20th position.
Unfortunate there for Max Cost. Was really hoping he could go back-to-back here in the Clash events on V-Speed, but it's going to be your 21st finisher of Clark Ganeckin, and 27 was up front pretty much all race, but it was the last stint there that he got shuffled out. Mark Whitley, another one of those guys that was up front for a lot of this, lost his teammate, didn't have anyone working with him. He's going to end up 22nd here tonight. 23rd goes to Joshua Banks. He started in 3rd. He was up front a lot as well. You're looking at cars back here that were up front that just had bad luck. Jeff Wright's going to be at the tail end of this, but there's Ray Massey. Looks like Stephon Davis actually in 24th by timing and scoring versus what you're seeing here, a little bit broken. Tom Butcher Benjamin, Taylor Butcher Benjamin in 26th. Bryce Shoemaker 27th. Aaron Smith 29th. Jeff Wright rounding out 30th.
Aaron Smith's another one of those drivers who ran well, didn't get the finish he deserved. Same thing with Jeremy Miller, top 10 most of that race, crashed out late after he got into the bumper of Alec Martinez, finished 31st. Eddie Trejo had some crashes, 32nd. Seth Hatchell, 33rd. A lot of these drivers are some of the guys who were out well before the end of a race because of so many crashes. Philip Brewer, 34th. 35th place, and Nathan Farada, that's what we'll go with for now. Reggie Ortega, winner at Daytona in the points race last season, not a good start to the season, 36th. Austin Belkey, Jonathan Smith, I believe, in 38th. Kyle Peacock, 39th position. And Case Lakatos was also out early, and maybe the second crash of the night, finished 40th.
So those last 3 cars up on your screen, actually, you're going to have everybody that was part of the event, but the last 3 finishers that were brought into this session is Logan Threlkel, Keith Shoemaker, and Joseph McWhorter. But then you had Dustin Germain and Looks like West was in there. Jerry West, Eric Hutton, Steve McDonald, Matt Dominic, Tyler Lehman, Michael Muncie. Michael Jones is going to be at the tail end of this. There were so many drivers. Joe Spinelli also in there as well that were trying to get qualified into this thing. And what a day here for Saturday Night Racing League to put it on a good show. But that brings us to our top 3 finishers. And the first one that we're going to bring into the booth is your third place finisher, Chad Klinger. After starting in 8th, Chad brought and salvaged the day. Are we talking to the real Chad or the AI Chad? Because I think only AI Chad was going to be able to bring this thing home in the condition that it was in. That car was beat up.
Yeah, no, this is AI Chad. Saturday nights are AI Chad. But yeah, we had a great race. I mean, it wasn't great because we crashed, but at the it come around to it, yeah, finishing third from I think I had about 6 minutes of damage, and it was amazing that our got it fixed. And it sucks that the cautions kind of messed up everybody because I don't know why, but it was just short cautions, so we had to kind of extend it after like about midway through the race. But I guess sorry to everybody before that. But yeah, we didn't figure it out until then. But yeah, we had to delay it quite often, and it was just short cautions. And a lot of people got their damage fixed. It was great racing in the back, and then got all my damage fixed. Probably about second to last caution, and then just went forward, and I pushed Sturgill to the win, and that was a great race.
Well, I can tell you this, we heard a lot of that tonight where guys were like, well, we just got the damage fixed. We're finally back in this thing, and it took this many wrecks, or, we got the cautions we needed to put ourselves back up there. But even then, Chad, that car still had some damage on it when you were up there in the top 10, and you came back in for that final repair. That car's still probably not fully up to par, but you hugged the back of the number 3 in Sturgill and pushed him to the victory. That's got to feel pretty good to be the car that got the victory for a guy.
Oh yes, very much so. I didn't think I could lead, probably because I still had damage, of course. And if I probably got out front, I would just hit a wall of air and not go anywhere. So I think my best spot was being behind somebody, being in that draft, and kind of nullifying the damage. And hats off to Sturgill. He kept a straight car, and I pushed him right up to the front and just barely won.
And a nice door bang there off of turn 4. I think everybody was door banging there with the last 10 laps, but you guys did it in style. Chad, this is the second time I've talked to you here, probably within the last 3 weeks in the V-Speed booth. I know you got people backing you up, but go ahead and shout them out.
Yeah, first off, I'd like to thank everybody that wanted to and joined tonight's clash. We had 52 drivers registered and in the session. Unfortunately, we had to kind of let go about 9 people because we wanted a 43 car field. But it was amazing to see how many people wanted to join. Hats off to all the admins. We did a great job kind of doing that today and getting it figured out. All the drivers, of course, for coming out. All my teammates. I guess Sturgill, because he is my teammate. So, congrats to him on the win. This bodes so well for a great season ahead.
Yes, it does, and we hope to see you back up here in the booth, Chad. Appreciate your time, and we're looking forward to a little bit of new and a little bit of the same old with the Cup Series and now the Challenger Series. We're very much looking forward to that, and we're going to have a lot of good coverage. I have a feeling that it's going to be a good show.
Yes, very much so. We will talk to you guys next week, so you guys have a good night.
Chad Klinger, third place finisher here this week, and very first of season 3 at the Clash. So that brings us to our second place finisher, Adam Cabot, and I believe Connor Horn has caught up with him.
I do have Adam Cabot down here. Adam, you led literally half the race, but you were probably top 2 for almost 120 laps, led 60 of 120, came up 18 1,000ths of a second short, Adam. What more did you need on that final lap, and what were you missing?
Man, I don't know. This is the second time this happened. The last time we were here in BTDY in the Xfinity car, it was the same deal. Like I led the most laps, felt like I was in control the entire race, and then just a massive push on the last lap, both races, just kind of out of nowhere, kind of caught me by surprise. I don't really know if I could have done anything different. I mean, I could have tried to block Sturgill on the backstretch, but I mean, Alec had a run too, so I felt like if I went middle, I was just gonna get split. So. Yeah, I mean, that's 2 races in a row. I really don't know if there was anything I could have done differently. You just gotta kind of get lucky coming to the finish. Like, all you can do is put yourself in that top 2 or 3 and hope that the runs are on your side in the last lap. But yeah, coming to the line, just didn't really have a push. So aside from that, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of big wrecks, but like it seemed like there was a lot of green flag racing in between. So yeah, was glad to stay out of all the carnage. I felt like I was probably one of only like maybe 2 or 3. Actually, honestly, I might have been the only clean car at the finish now that I think about it, because Whitley was another clean car who ended up completely destroyed. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, but pretty frustrating coming up that close to getting the win. I mean, maybe I could have been more aggressive with Doring Sturgill or something, but I didn't want to just kind of junk everyone at the line, just trying to get a win. So, I don't know, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for us to watch, especially the blocks that you were giving out pretty much all race long. You had a bunch of blocks there, a lot of tight-knit racing, not only with the 77, but with a lot of other drivers. And it seemed pretty aggressive out there. Obviously, you got kind of a 77 got mad at you, but how tough was it to stay up at the front? Because it seemed like if you weren't making those big blocks, it was nearly impossible.
Yeah, you had to work the lanes, and I'm not really. I was just talking to Sturgill in chat. I'm not really sure what Mark was upset about, considering he was the one on my door lap after lap, which is fine. I don't care, but 0x lap after lap. If you're on the outside, just came down on my door and put himself in a bad spot, and then dropped back and got wrecked. So I was having fun, but I'm not surprised that ended up biting him. But yeah, I mean. I think the key is just, with this car, it's not like the next gen where you can just smash into the person in front of you's back bumper and be fine. So, you can't throw last-second blocks. I felt like, I mean, my blocks resulted in a few wrecks tonight, which I hated, but, in my opinion, I felt like, I was making a slow, calculated defensive move. I think the key is to not do anything too erratic, not do anything too last second, and, you make your move and you stick to it. You make 1 block, don't throw 2, because that's what's going to really screw everyone up. So I feel bad there were a few wrecks there, but I don't really, I'll take a look back at it. I don't think that really was anything that I did wrong per se. But like you said, if you want to stay up front, you got to look at where the runs are coming and try to at least play the lines. I mean, when you're in the lead, you're definitely looking in the mirror way more than you're looking out the windshield. That's for sure.
And definitely tried your best. Just came a little short in the end there. So, but still a good run for you, Adam. So congrats on the runner-up, even though I know it's not what you were wanting. And when you want to thank, shout out as far as team and anything sponsors like that.
I'll just give a shout out to this league, to Jeff Wright. I mean, the fact that there's no entry fee. I mean, I don't think there is. Either that or maybe I just robbed everyone. I don't know. But really appreciate him putting this league together. All the admins, everyone at V-Speed. Cool to be able to hop on iRacing on our Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely a fun one. That's why we do it on Saturday nights. We'll hopefully see you on a few more Saturday nights this season, whether full-time or part-time. Congrats on the second place, Adam. I know you wanted that win, but still a good run, a dominant run still, regardless, being up front for so long. So good on that, and thanks for talking to us. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Connor. See you.
I'll see you Monday, actually. So.
Yes, you will.
Yeah. All right. See ya. See you.
That was your second place finisher here tonight, Adam Cabot, after a dominant performance, leading the vast majority of these laps. But that brings us to Michael Sturgill. After starting in 24th position, the number 3 team puts it all together. And I can confirm here that Michael Sturgill, I think he's going to run full time now. I think this is the announcement. You come out here and you win the class, you have to run a full season.
Is that the new rule? If you win the class, you gotta win.
Yeah.
I'll try to run more than I did last season, but I can't commit to full time yet.
Well, you led 7 laps. Most importantly, you led the last one. Michael, you come out here with a banged up car. You have a banged up car pushing just behind you. You got caught up in a couple different incidents here tonight. Had to claw your way back into the top 3. What do you have to say? I mean, this race was against you the whole time, and you overcame it.
Yeah, that's why you always try to stick around and stick it out if you can. I thought for sure I was done. And Chad had 5.5 minutes of damage. I had 5. But the way the cautions fell, luckily I didn't park it, and I went and I was able to get all my damage fixed, and so I had full RPM again, and went for it. And there towards the end, I was like, oh, this car actually is decent. But I definitely owe the win to Chad. I don't know how he didn't blow up behind me, pushing me as hard as he was.
Sherwin Williams, the paint on that machine, it's got some kind of cooling adhesive bonded. I don't even know. Science. That's out.
Yeah.
That's all there is.
Yeah, he was, I think, coming to the white. He said he was red, and I was like, oh no, like I don't think it's gonna last for him. And somehow, some way, it did, and he pushed me to the win. So definitely
Well,
owe him.
me a hint. They just gave me a hint here in the chat. So you can see the air. We know that, and I think with Chad Klinger tapped into that power on your rear bumper, he was able to see it as well. Was able to breathe that car just enough.
Just enough to get it done.
Yeah.
Nope.
That is incredible, though. I mean, to see the amount of damage that both those cars had, you got really aggressive contenders on the inside. The middle groove was kind of dominant throughout the day, but for you guys to come out of turn 4 with kind of a car length gap there, as we're watching on our screen, there was a pretty sizable gap for you guys to overcome. Plus, a lot of door contact there out of turn 4.
Oh yeah. You definitely have to try to pinch the inside down, check up their runs. I was trying to pinch them as best I could without causing any, big issues. And yeah, we were just able to overcome it and get it done. So, like I said, I got to thank Chad for this win. I definitely owe him one.
Well, outside of the official announcement that you'll race more, anything else that you have in store for us, or any plans that you got to talk about for the 3 team?
Definitely going to have to show up next week for Daytona and see if I can run it back.
Back to back would be great here, and we'll see you Saturday night at 10 p.m., I assume. But Michael Sturgill is victorious in the Season 3 Clash, presented here by M&J Distributors. Anybody you'd like to shout out while we have you up here?
Yeah, I just want to shout out the admins of the league for putting this thing on. I mean, it's a Saturday night league, which can be hard for a lot of people to show up to, and we actually had to turn, I think, 7 guys away tonight. So we had a ton of people show up for this, and it was a pretty stacked field, a lot of really good guys. I want to thank them for putting this on, everyone for showing up, you guys for running an awesome broadcast, and everyone watching, including my dad. And one last time, got to thank Chad for pushing me to the win.
Can he go back to back here when we go to Daytona? Michael Sturgill, thank you for your time. We'll see you next weekend.
Thank you.
And so that does it here for the coverage of the Clash Saturday Night Racing League, teeing off season number 3. Connor Horn, I hope you're as excited as I am to get this thing underway. It's been a phenomenal start to the season, and I know that we're going to kind of group these guys up into different segments. At 8 p.m., we're going to have the Challenger Series, and then at 10 p.m., we've got the Cup Series. But overall, seeing them collectively on a racetrack that, well, let's be honest, has changed a lot over the years, it's got to be a good feeling for what's to come.
Yeah, I would think so. It's going to be a pretty wild season across both parts of this series at this point. We still got at least one more. We got a few more super speedways to deal with. At least one more next week. So it should be pretty interesting, especially after what we saw today. The aggression rate, maybe it'll pick up. Maybe it'll pick up even more. The aggression rate, we'll see. Because tonight was pretty wild, but this one didn't have any points on the line. Just had a little bit of money on the line. I believe maybe $10 to the winner, if I'm not mistaken. So a little something on the line for this one. You got points on the line for next week. The points are pretty important when you come down to the regular season finale, when we come back to the old surface here in Atlanta in a few months' time. So you got your fun out of the way. The real work starts next week.
There you have it. Hope you guys can join us here. We got a lot of racing in the coming weeks. We're starting back into the days that end with Y here on V-Speed. We're going to go live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for the Overtake iRacing League and season number 2 for the Truck Series. And then we have the Xfinity and the Cup Series. We also have SimRacerHub.com on Tuesday. QSR is going to be starting back up August 20th. And, well, as always, we've got the Track Champion Series. The VRX guys starting another one up. And then it's Saturday Night Racing League, the official debut of season number 3. Hope you guys can join us there at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Challenger Series. But for Connor Horn, Adam Baker, everyone in between that puts this on, Jeff Wright, Chad Klinger, Reggie Ortega, and the 1,001 other people that all made this possible. This was Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors. We hope to see you next time here on V-Speed.